Creativity requires coffee.
I've tried a few times already. It never.
Hey, dude. How you doing?
I got water, but I've taken one break. I'm gonna take another one.
So this is a giant line to get plug plates from SDSS.
And
Fun fact, when I was younger, my job was washing and doing QA. I was in charge of this at UW. So I have looked at many plug plates. They are awesome. I also had the fortune of being able to help assemble some of these carts. And when Boss was being built, I inspected about 20,000 of these little metal tips that the fiber optic cables go into. They call them ferrules. Each of these little tips plugs into one of the holes in the plug plates. Each of these little holes.
So my wife asked me if I should try to find anything for a future house, so I'm probably going to go ahead and put this thing up on the wall.
I think I'm going to frame it, or somebody had a great idea of turning it into a table.
I'll tell you what I want to do with it. So I'm also an amateur astronomer, so I want to incorporate it into my telescope. So when I'm observing on the field, there's a Sloan plate with me at the same time. Wouldn't that be cool?
I'm going to back illuminate it and mount it on my wall.
Just keep it in my room.
I'm going to keep it in the attic forever.
I'm going to make a coffee table. The guys up here have a coffee table made up.
I'm going to put it in my classroom in my high school class back in Wisconsin.
I am going to hang it up in my college dorm room.
I'm going to make a coffee table.
I'll probably just hang it up on my wall or something.
So the most popular answer I've heard over the last few years is coffee table, and I've seen it done a few times, and it makes a nice coffee table. Good luck. I hope everybody gets a plate. I hope they brought plenty. Sloan's gone through something like 3,000 of these plates in the last 10 years, and they're basically one-time use. They drill the holes specifically for one patch of sky. They plug the fibers in, take the exposure. There's not much else we can do with them scientifically. They're considered a disposable part. It turns out they were cheaper to drill these plates and manually plug in the fibers than it was to build robots in the 90s when this was designed. We've had plate giveaways in the past, but we've never had them where you just can come to AAS and get them. So I think this is actually a really unique opportunity. I'm really excited they're doing this. Oh, also they're heavy. Like, they're pretty heavy. Astronomers tend to be pretty creative people, I find. I think one reason for this is that the sky is an intrinsically difficult laboratory. We can't usually touch our subjects, we can't affect the experiment. All we can do is look and have creative ways of dealing with the data and what nature's telling us. So astronomy has to sort of intrinsically be a creative science.
Creativity requires coffee.
All right, Ethan, I have major YouTube envy because when you were a grad student, you put out an amazing data visualization. They got like 1 million views.
I got lucky. Reddit loved it.
What was the motivation to make this thing? This it didn't go in your thesis.
First, I want to say I wasn't the first one to make. I was following up on the work of Dan Fabricki, and he made one that was popular at conferences. And in 3 years, Kepler had discovered lots of planets. I looked at what he was making and thought that it was time for a new one, and I thought I could make it a little bit prettier with a little more information. It took about an hour to make a rough draft version of the video and get all the pieces in place, and then it took 10 to 15 hours of just sitting there and tweaking. And
why invest that creative effort when you're in the middle of scientific enterprise and your PhD?
Because I like visualizations like that get shown at conferences that display things clearly and did not expect it to reach 980,000 people.
Agent, Davenport.
Hey!
Why did you start writing Cosmic Variance? Why did you start writing online and sharing unsolicited advice?
I was invited. Cosmic Variance was a very popular blog that was started by Sean Carroll. Out of the blue, I got an invitation to join as a writer, and it was like you're a guitarist in your basement, and the Stones ask you to come up and jam with them. So
I'm Vatsul from University of Amsterdam. This is my first time attending AAS. I talked about my first year grad school project, and I'm also writing for Astrobytes.
MFA in acting from UCLA. And at a time when communication of our science is more important, you can imagine that this is a wonderful asset.
Thank you so much, Joan. Oh my God, this talk better be good. In this new era of large numbers of planet discoveries, there is a need for a new approach. One that uses both observational data for newly discovered worlds in combination with computer models. And thank you all for being here today.
But instead of just setting it equal to and so I did.
It's like the Joy Division album cover, very famous album cover. It was designed based on pulsar timing. Fun fact, I had some data visualization in my thesis that looked sort of similar to that Joy Division album cover. One of my motivating figures that I made for myself was inspired by that.
I'm Stephen Kane. I'm from UC Riverside. I feel pretty strongly about creativity as scientists because I think that that's a lot of what drives us. Scientific creativity. I do a lot of painting, for example, and I actually get a lot of inspiration from what I paint to think about new ideas.
Hi, my name is Logan Pierce. I'm an undergraduate at the University of Texas in Austin. For creativity, I am part of the team that puts on the Astronomy on Tap show in Austin, Texas. And my job is to make the intro videos.
My name is Ben Monte. I'm a postdoc at the University of Chicago. I'm really excited about developing new methods to find planets that are hidden in the data that no one's found over the past 10 years that we've had Kepler data.
Hi, my name is Adina Feinstein. I'm a first-year graduate student at the University of Chicago. These are our postcards. Showing you here is half of 2 of the test full-frame images that are stuck together. The information here, which I guess where you would put the address to send the postcard, is all the information on the pipeline that I'm building called Eleanor to extract light curves from the test full-frame images.
When you talk about scientists being creative, the open mic night at the AAS has got to be one of the best examples. We've heard people doing stand-up, singing, juggling, all kinds of cool stuff. It's a great example of, brilliant people who are also very creative. The creativity you cultivate in outreach, in art, in music, I think it's going to make stronger research. I think it's going to make you more creative in problem solving. Creativity. Thumbs up.